I want to welcome. Gonna hit my got it here. There we go. Anyway, I got a chuckle. I don't know if you heard me chuckling out loud, but I wanted to welcome you to our monthly power hours. Today is our monthly power hour. Excuse me. And we today are going to be talking about YIPPEE for summer and for professional development. I'm Robin Eisen. I'm the Special Projects Manager here at the Young Entrepreneur Institute. I'm also the YIPPEE manager, and today I'm also your host for this hour-long power hour. Thanks for participating in the opening question to let you know a little bit about what I'm looking forward to. It's been a really long time since I've heard live music. And for those of us here in Ohio, we have a program called Wade Oval Wednesdays, where you can go down to the Art Center and the Wade Oval and actually listen to live music. I'm sure there are some, similar things like this all over the United States, but I am looking forward to going to those again. The first one is actually tomorrow, where I will be sitting outside, hopefully in a little bit nicer weather than we have now, listening to some jazz music. Looking forward to that. Couple of housekeeping notes. We are recording this, and like all of our power hours, all the material that you're going to learn about and see today will be made available to you. So feel free to take notes if you want, but also know that the materials will be coming to you with links and a lot of additional information for you to look at after the power hour is over. It'll come in an email. Feel free to ask questions during the call. I will try to limit this time to 1 hour. I want to make sure that we are really aware of everyone's time, and everyone does so much. And I do want to make sure that we get all the information in within 1 hour. So I'll be kind of guiding that. And I also wanted to mention that the team from YEI will be helping me moderate the chat, and you can tell who we are by our fancy backgrounds. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that today we have a special power hour. Today we have a special power hour with a partnership with Kent State University, where we are going to be talking about the resources that are on YIPPEE and how you can use those resources to create a lesson plan. And by doing this, you can also enroll in a course at Kent State University, where you can get credits, graduate credits and contact hour credits for this. And we have our ambassadors. We have five fantastic ambassadors who are going to be walking us through some of their ways and their lesson plans that they have already done to kind of get us kickstarted into this wonderful opportunity that you have in joining this course. In addition, there's an opportunity to earn a $200 stipend for successfully completing this course. And I want to mention that the ambassadors that are presenting today all elected to participate, and they all picked their own resource and their own actual lesson plan. So these are all educators sharing what they have done with using YIPPEE resources, and they're going to be sharing those with you. To give us a little bit more idea about what this course is and what it entails, I'd like to welcome Dr. Annette Krakowski. She is the director for the Research Center for Educational Technology at Kent State University, and is going to tell us all the great details about this fantastic opportunity for you. So Annette, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. And it's so wonderful to see so many of you today and kick off summer with you. So as Robin said, we have a very unique opportunity for a workshop we're offering here at Kent State in partnership with YEI and with support from the Burton D. Morgan Foundation. So our hope is that you will spend some time this summer exploring the resources that are available to you in YIPPEE and create a lesson plan to use those in your own classroom. So that's essentially what the workshop is. We are kicking it off today with you now, and then you will continue to work asynchronously across the summer. So I'm going to put into the chat a spreadsheet that you all can kind of open on your own screen and take a look at, because it sort of has really everything you'll kind of need for the summer to participate. So again, this is a workshop really tailored for you to learn about YIPPEE and how you can use it in your own classroom. Many of you have already registered for the workshop. In order to be eligible to earn the $200 stipend, you must register for the Kent State workshop. And if you haven't already done so, or you think you did, but you're not sure, please send me an email. You'll see in the spreadsheet that I put in the chat, my email is at the bottom under the graduate credit resources. But by taking the workshop, once you register through the Kent State opportunity, then you're eligible to earn the stipend. To earn the stipend, you have to do two things, two course requirements. One, after going through the YIPPEE platform and exploring the resources, number one is you have to create your lesson plan. And then number two is you have to upload that lesson plan to the YIPPEE platform. The projects are due August 7th. So if you are pursuing the stipend and or contact hours and credit, you need to email the project to me by August 7th. Again, my contact information is in the spreadsheet. Also in the spreadsheet, you will see a link to the rubric that we're using. Then the rubric will guide you in developing your lesson plan, but then it also guides our review of your lesson plan. And it's pretty straightforward. We don't want to prescribe a template that you have to use, because we know everybody has their own way, their own format for planning lessons. But we do have a few essential components that have to be included in order for you to be eligible for the stipend and to receive the credit or contact hours. So you must obviously include some YIPPEE's materials and resources, some things that you glean from the platform that you'd like to sort of have as the focus of your lesson. And then your lesson plan is going to have to include a lesson overview, kind of introduction of what's the entrepreneurial goals that you kind of want to hit with this lesson. And what are the learning goals for the lesson? And then we're asking a third component is that you list the Ohio learning standards, the learning objectives of your lesson. Fourth, that you make some notes about how you're going to measure the students' learning, assessment, pre and post. And then finally, really the bulk of your lesson plan is going to be a description of the lesson activities, sort of the workflow of how it all takes place. What are you doing as a teacher? What will the students be doing? How are you introducing the resources? And any links to materials that you're using. And then the final requirement is that the lesson plan, once it's completed, is submitted up to the YIPPEE platform. And this summer we'll send you instructions for how to do that. But it's those two things: developing the plan and uploading it to the platform. Couple notes for those of you that are pursuing the $200 stipend with federal guidelines with the IRS through the university. I'll be sending out a stipend agreement letter to you in July. It just essentially is sort of an agreement that you're receiving this stipend. If you sign the letter in July and then it ends up that your summer gets busy and you're not able to complete the workshop, there's nothing legal binding you to the agreement. It's just Kent State documenting the stipend and the process. Across the summer, you will have access to the recorded power hours. You'll have access to coaching support with Robin and myself. Robin's Calendly link is in the spreadsheet. You can zip me an email. I'm work across the summer and I'm happy to meet as well. We'll also have that contact information for the ambassadors. As you can see, it's in the spreadsheet as well. And today you'll get to hear from the ambassadors. They're going to kind of walk through the process that you'll be going through this summer. They identified some materials in the YIPPEE platform. They developed very thorough lesson plans. They're all tremendous. And so I think they'll give you a lot of ideas about how you might do your own project, both in terms of content, but also in terms of format and how they've organized their lesson plan. I think we have a little time for questions. I'm going to ask Robin if that's the case.
Yeah, if anyone has a question, please like stop us. We want to make sure that we're answering and meeting your needs. So either stop us or put a question into the chat and we'll make sure that it gets answered. I don't see any right now, so I think we can continue on.
Awesome. I want them to have all the time they can with the ambassadors. Their lesson plans are just fantastic.
They are great. Okay, real quickly before we go to the ambassadors, what I want to do is just make sure that everyone knows and can get into YIPPEE. So I am going to share my screen and you guys should see YIPPEE on my screen. I'm getting some nods, so that is great. You will see when you sign up for YIPPEE, which is www.yippee.exchange. You will see exactly this, except for there'll be a little button up here that says create an account. Once your account is created, which you get 500 points for creating the account, you will come to this page. This is the page where you can sort and look for all your YIPPEE products. And I'm going to run through this super quick, but I'm available to go a little bit slower with you. I just want to make sure we have plenty of time for the ambassadors. Once you register, if you go to this button up here, it says products. Of course, it's slow. This is where you will find all of the YIPPEE products. You can see right now we have 124 products, which is a lot to go through. Some of the educators have said that they enjoy going through all of them. Others say they want to be able to narrow it down and focus it. So if you want to narrow down and focus, you can use these categories over here. You can sort by grade, by category type, by entrepreneurial skill that you're looking to have your students experience, by availability, by classroom time, and then finally, if you know you want a certain product, you can look by storefront. Once you've narrowed it down a little bit here, you can come over to this middle section and actually click on the product itself, which I'm going to do in a second. If you want to even schedule more or funnel more, you can click on this area right here, where you can look for just the newest products, or you can look for products that have point values. The point value is the currency that we use here on the YIPPEE platform. You as educators earn points by doing things like coming to this professional development, by registering, by referring other friends, by writing reviews, lots and lots of ways for you to earn points. Those are the points that you use to purchase the products. Products range from 0, meaning you don't need to purchase, you don't need to use points, to 300. In addition, the products that are all on YIPPEE all have an entrepreneurial element to it. But the points, if you use one that is supported with points, we also have to have a funder to match. So right now we have funding in the state of Ohio and in Northwest Arkansas. So those current locations will match and will get funded if you select a product that has points. But rest assured, there are plenty of 0-point products on the site that everyone in the United States can access. I'm going to quickly just click into this to show you what you see or what you will see when you come to a product page or a resource page. On this, you will see a lot of information up here, just sort of what it's about, where the product is out of, a picture. It will show you all of those elements that you are able to sort by are listed here. It will give you a little bit information about the product. And then it will also have real educator reviews right here. That is YIPPEE in a nutshell. I'm not going to go too much more. There's a lot of other things and ways that you can sort. But what I would like to do is, I'm available if you want more information on how to find a product or what product is best for you. But what I'd like to do now is turn it over to our fabulous ambassadors who all picked one of these products and have used many products, but they're all going to share a lesson plan with you. And I've asked them to keep it to about 5 minutes, but they are also available after this if you have other questions. So I'm going to turn it over to our first ambassador, who is Eric Matthews. He is a high school educator from the North High School here in Akron, Ohio, and he is going to be reviewing the pitch product. So Eric, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. All right, how's everyone doing this afternoon? It's a pleasure to be here. As Robin mentioned, I teach at Akron North High School, and this is my 14th year of teaching. So the pitch contest is something that I've done for about 3 years now. So basically, if you look at the lesson plans, there are a lot of resources that I have there. But the main resources are, one, you have to recruit judges to judge the pitch contest. So what I do is the University of Mount Union is a partner with my pathway. So I had students in their college judge my students, which you're really helping the college students judge younger students, and you give the high school students an opportunity to go before college students in their area of expertise. So that's one of the first things I do. And the other thing is there's the pitch, the YE PC toolkit. So they provide us with a toolkit that has everything that you need. So YEI provides a toolkit that has all the modules that you need to have a effective pitch contest. Then what you'll purchase is the My Pitch Challenge. And I think that's 300 points. And you can purchase that. And what I normally do is I normally use that, and I have first, second, and third place prizes, and they provide Amazon gift cards. So that's pretty much how I do it. Now I use it with my senior students in my class of strategic entrepreneurship. So I'm already teaching the content, and they have an opportunity to showcase what they have learned. So in the example resources, there are tips for pitch contests. There's a rubric that's available. And then I also have included slides. So when you receive my lesson plan, it's very thorough. Now, from the teacher's perspective, you may wonder, what is it that I have to do within my role? So basically, as a teacher, what you have to do is you have to explain the concept of entrepreneurship and explain why it's important for our economy, talk about what kind of incentives, what is the profit for entrepreneurs. You could have students brainstorm some successful entrepreneurs. So what I normally do in my class, I normally have students do a presentation on a famous entrepreneur that they're interested in. The other thing is within the toolkit, there are 5 lessons that you have to go through, and they're very thorough. They're very thorough. Now the cost for the toolkit is 0 points. Remember that, 0 points.
Great.
Yes, and then afterwards, there's a rubric there, and the rubric is very self-explanatory. It's very easy to use. So from a teacher's perspective, all of that time is going to take about 240 minutes. So it's very detailed. Then you may wonder, what is the role of the student? Well, the role of the student is they have to identify a problem that they have to solve. They have to kind of define what their target audience is, and then come up with marketing strategies to come up with a successful campaign. And then they have to research their market. Because what you want to do is the pitch contest that you have, it needs to fit the audience that you're using. So after you have the students do that, now your pitch should be no longer than 90 seconds, a minute and a half, short and sweet. And then you have students practice. So when they come up with their pitch, you have students practice. They will practice their pitch with each other. And then as they do that, they'll have a peer review and students can give them feedback. And basically you'll have the students present to each other. And then by that time, they'll practice. And then before we have the contest with the college students at Mount Union, they will have refined their pitch contest. So after that, in terms of closure, you share with the students, or the students will share, well, what were the real world types of applications? And then the University of Mount Union students would select the top 3 students, and the top student would get a certain amount of car from Amazon. It may be $100. Second place maybe $75, third place maybe $50. And so the college students are judging the high school students contest. So I've been doing it for 3 years, but guess what? I could not do this without the resources that are provided by YIPPEE. So I'm very thankful to YIPPEE. I'm very thankful to Robin and the team, because without them, this would not be possible. I'm at 6 minutes, so I'm
Awesome.
done.
Awesome. And your project and your program is really, really fantastic. And I know you've grown it every year. So what I just want to say to some of the educators who might be listening who have not experienced this yet is, you might not start off with a program that is as robust as Eric's, but you will start off with a program that can grow to be as robust as Eric's. So thank you for sharing your experience and your expertise with this one product. So appreciate it, Eric. Thank you. Our next presenter, our next educator ambassador is Karen Sunderhalf, and she is going to be speaking on a resource that is from Power Speakers. This is for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade market. And she is from Harmon Middle School, and she'll be presenting on mastering the art of persuasion. So Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you for your 5 minutes.
Great. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm so glad you're here, because I've really found that the YIPPEE and the Young Entrepreneur Institute has really enhanced my teaching for my students to allow them to gain those entrepreneurial skills that are so important. The soft skills about public speaking and presenting is really what I'm focused on today. With my points, I believe it might be 300 points. I'd have to go check, but this is one of those resources, as Robin said, you can use no matter where you are. The New Jersey Power Speakers are an amazing resource, because when we watch TED Talks, those people are prepped by Taruna from the New Jersey Power Speakers. She helps people prepare for TED Talks. So I thought, what amazing resource that would be for my students, for 2 reasons. I'm interested. I teach 6th and 7th grade gifted English, and my students work on the pitch challenge that you just heard from Eric about. That is an opportunity for me to have them be creative, innovative thinkers. I also am interested in the English perspective by having them learn to be concise in their writing and to be creative in their public speaking. We always talk about a slogan or a tagline at the end and a hook opening, which are some things that they do in their writing. And I just shifted into public presentations. So so I think I see my friend here from the Power Speakers. She's fabulous. I'm so glad you're here, because I told her how great she was, but I'm so glad she gets to hear firsthand my appreciation for her and how fabulous she was. My students were completely engaged. I have an hour-long class. She Zoomed in. I know a lot of people think when you have a Zoom speaker, it might not be as engaging, but I will tell you firsthand, my students were completely engaged. We had them take notes, and she gave a lot of great tips and tricks. I don't want to steal her thunder, but I do have to give her credit for this dunk and stretch technique. And if you're interested, you need to sign up for her. But I utilized the opportunity in two ways. One, to prepare my students for the pitch challenge. And then a colleague of mine who teaches gifted cluster classes in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade knows about the pitch challenge, but heard about me talking to my students about public speaking and how to really get them to be great presenters, because in her 5th grade group, they had a mission. April 8th in 2024 will be another day, which is a very special day, when we will have a solar eclipse. And that won't happen again for another 400 years. And we do not have that day off from school. It is a school day, and we are in the best place in Ohio to have a viewing of this solar eclipse. However, it's going to happen right around 3:15. That's going to be the climax of it. And that's exactly when these students are let out of school, around 3:30. And so they're lobbying for the day off from school, which is currently a full day of school on the calendar. So their task was to figure out how to do some research, how to write a persuasive letter. And the ultimate goal, as they edited and used their opportunity to write, was to practice public speaking. And one of the students was going to be selected from their peers to then go to the Aurora Board of Education meeting. They handed in all the letters, but one lucky student was the one selected to do the reading of the letter and to pitch their idea that they really needed this day off. So this is to be continued. We're still hoping and keeping all our fingers and toes crossed that we will get the day off from school. Right now, we'll see. Our superintendent is an awesome guy, and he is a science man. So we're hoping we can appeal to his empathetic heart and his scientific mind and get us to have the day off. So my big shout out, and I hope you do take my recommendation and book New Jersey Power Speakers. I am from New Jersey, so I am a little biased, but she was amazing. So Trina, thank you. Shout out to you. Thanks for YEI for the opportunity to use these points on YIPPEE that were valuable in the moment, but then I think lifelong value for my students.
And I think that's a really good way to say it too, is so many, I mean, every one of the products on YIPPEE is really, for lifelong learning. It's all geared towards the entrepreneurial mindset, to problem solving, communication skills, grit, persistence, resilience, all of those. And while you chose to use this particular product for your ELA class, clearly there's, a connection here to the science component and to other components. So they do really transcend, and appreciate you sharing your lesson plan and your expertise with us. So we're going to move on now to Kim Kaufman, who is another one of our fantastic ambassadors, and she chose to create a lesson plan around the Upcycle Part Shop product here on YIPPEE. She works with 5th through 8th graders at Midview East Intermediate School, another suburb here in Cleveland. But she's going to tell you all about her unique experience with this very creative and resourceful renewable product that she did with Upcycle Part Shop. So Kim, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you for having me. As Robin said, I worked with Upcycle Part Shop. I had the unique opportunity to create my own YIPPEE experience that now coordinated with Upcycle Part Shop. It's a brand new product on YIPPEE. It started off with me. Yes, it will be.
It'll be up by the end of the week, hopefully.
Yes, almost there. I started off by purchasing for 250 points the Innovation and Social Enterprise through the lens of creative reuse student workshop through Upcycle Part Shop, and through my work with Nicole McGee. She's the executive director and one of the co-founders of Upcycle Part Shop. The project evolved, and we now have more of a STEM twist on what Upcycle Part Shop is doing in that component of this project. I was looking for a way to launch my design challenge for my entire school, and we were doing a cardboard arcade. Many of you probably are familiar with the story of Kane's Arcade, and I was using that. I wanted to begin the project with that, but I also wanted my students to understand what upcycling is and what the importance of it was. So Nicole actually came to our school and we launched the design challenge. We co-taught it to the entire student body in our cafeteria / gym, and it worked really, really well. And There's also the component where you can buy for 300 points, you can buy 20 innovation kits for your students as well. So that's another YIPPEE purchase that I made that she brought to me. And then I was able to work with students in a small group. But what happened is this: once my students learned what upcycling is and how you can creatively reuse products that would normally go to the landfill, which is the premise of their shop, they took off with their ideas and came up with so many different arcade games. The goal was 2 per homeroom. We have 18 homerooms. We ended up with, so we thought we'd have 36 games. We ended up with 102 arcade games. And with the lesson plan, when you see the purchase on YIPPEE, once it's up, what happens is the lesson starts with a video. So Nicole McGee and then her assistant, Clea Smith, have now produced a video that you can play within your classroom or for your school that talks about the benefits of upcycling and how you can creatively reuse things. And then you can show a video such as Kane's Arcade, and then comes the STEM part. So I have it broken down within the lesson plan, how you can brainstorm and come up with engineering design teams and really think about those ideas. Through all of that, I was able to purchase Make Do tools through another grant that I had. So there is a part of my lesson plan that talks about extras as far as getting funding. I happen to be to have generosity behind the Ohio STEM Learning Network. We did receive $5,000 from them, so we were able to purchase some of those skills. But cardboard is free, upcycled items are free. You can get PTA members and things like that to donate tape and whatnot. Within my lesson plan, it just talks about also how you can rate everyone's projects, so they have, a standpoint to look at. Have they met the design components, and have they used too much? Have they wasted too much or not wasted too much, and that kind of stuff. But I have it broken down that way. And I've also included a link that shows you pictures of my students. They hit it out of the ballpark as far as their projects were concerned. I have some real life pictures of their arcade games. There's some pictures of their drawings. You can see the brainstorming phase with the final prototypes. And my email address is there. I can share videos of the arcade and actually students playing the games. I didn't put those on the plan for privacy reasons, but I would be more than happy to share that with you. But for me, it was kind of inspiring because, I found this YIPPEE product and then it didn't quite meet my needs. And then I was able to talk a little bit through it. And now it's kind of cool that another product has evolved. So not only can you go to Upcycle Part Shop on YIPPEE and purchase the the innovation kits and the social enterprise component, but we have this other product that will be, it's actually, the official name is, I fall off my table here, is Upcycle Part Shop Upcycle STEM Design Challenge Scaffolding. So with that product, you'll get my lesson plan, you'll get the video with Nicole and Kalia. You'll also get, they have a really beneficial to creative reuse tip sheet. So then you can show this to your students and they can think about what's a connector, a base, and embellishment in paper. So they have come up with the acronym PAIR: properties, elevate, aesthetic dignity, and recipe. So there's lots of learning embedded within this product. So I'm pretty excited.
There though, Kim, is can you talk real briefly about how you got your community involved also?
Yes, I forgot that part. Yes. So the thing is, this was also has ties to the fact that if you think of socioeconomics, not everyone can afford to go to an arcade or to a carnival or bring in some of those supplies. So we were able to tap into the local communities and families. Cabinet boxes I found were really, really good bases for games. So, there was a family that had just put in a set of cabinets in their kitchen. So they donated all of those boxes. This year we didn't do the arcade game. We did arcade games. Another year we did mini golf, and I had a garage door business that they gave us their boxes from garage doors. We had local stores that donated boxes and different upcycled items. So definitely this is a great way to, tap into your community. And then when people came, our project culminated with a family STEM night. So I call it, we're Midview School. So it's the MIDI Makers Upcycled Arcade. So we had students, hundreds and hundreds of people. Robin was fortunate enough to be able to find some time in her schedule to attend. And it was such a success because you could see, you know, families coming out for this free evening of, you know, entertainment. But yes, we had the signs that let them know like what community members donated supplies and stuff. So that made it all the more special because it wasn't a super costly project.
Yeah. And I just thought it was really great to be able to tie in entrepreneurial learning with the community, and so that the community can see what great things the schools and the teachers are doing. The other thing I just wanted to point out before we move on to Allison is that the flexibility that we are able to provide all of the educators. If there isn't something that is on YIPPEE, we will make it. We are entrepreneurial ourselves, and we want to make sure that we are meeting your needs. So if there is something that is missing or needs a little turn of the kaleidoscope in sense of, well, if this is almost right, but not quite right, you know, we'll work with you. Just like we worked with Kim in designing this. And now once it's up on YIPPEE, you know, every other educator will get to, you know, take a look at it and see if that's something that they maybe would like to have and to use. So we're willing to be flexible and entrepreneurial, and appreciate you doing that also, Kim. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to Allison Golam, who is here from Mayfield Middle School. She actually is going to talk about two different products, VentureLab and Pitch, and has a long-standing relationship similar to Eric's, in that she's been doing this product for a while and has a lot of really good tips and tricks on how to make this work. So Allison, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Robin, am I able to share my screen? Is that?
You should be able to.
Okay, okay.
You are a co-host. You should be able to.
Just quick background about me. I am in a past life, I was a math teacher for 20 years. The last 5 years, I have taken over the role of gifted intervention specialist, and I co-teach with our language arts and math teachers. So language arts is not my strength, but what I'm finding is that all of these resources, kind of like Karen was talking about, really lend themselves to the speaking and listening and the argumentative and the persuasive writing standards for language arts. So I'm kind of making my way into the language arts world, supporting it with enrichment activities, using these activities from YIPPEE. And it's a really nice, it's a nice change of pace for middle school kids, kind of away from whatever novels, studies they're doing, typical language arts type things, but it allows us really to focus on, like Karen said, kind of those soft skills, but we're still really important to the language arts classroom. So I don't want to talk too much to we engage in the Teen Pitch Challenge. Eric explained it quite a bit. Can I see my screen?
You are not sharing yet. We see you. If you thought you were sharing, you are not.
Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So you understand premise of the teen pitch. The kids are, as Eric explained, are writing an elevator pitch for a product. They record it and then they submit it. And we kind of participate in both the YEI contest, but also, as does Eric, we hold one at Mayfield Middle School. The way we do it, because we are not teaching entrepreneurial skills specifically, we take about 2 months to do it, and once a week we have a pitch day. We have 90-minute classes, and we give some entrepreneurial background, but like I said, our focus is really the language arts piece behind it, and the kids just really enjoy having a non-typical language arts day. So because entrepreneurial skills are not my jam, like I really relied, particularly when I started this, on the resources that YEI had, and then now the resources that YIPPEE had. And this has evolved, I don't know, Robin, has it probably been 5 years? Maybe
At least 5. Yeah.
Yeah, that we've been doing this. And, you know, initially I was using just the pitch challenge toolkit that was free. And then I started looking at other resources, and we've pulled in so many resources from so many different places. The 2 resources that I primarily use are the VentureLab. They have some really solid lesson plans at different grade levels. They've got I think a 1-2, and then a 3-5, and then a 6-12. And then the pitch challenge toolkit. And both of those resources are lesson plans, and they're pretty straightforward. They're easy to execute. You don't need a whole lot of materials. They're easy to understand for math teachers that are pretending to be language arts teachers. So like that was really helpful for me as I was bringing this to my language arts teacher and then presenting that. And then of course, the pitch challenge just allows us to run our own contest in our own building with prizes. So that's, you know, we always have a kid that is a finalist. Thankfully, that will continue in the Northeast Ohio Challenge. But for those kids that don't make it that far on the bigger stage, you know, we have a lot of different awards with different categories, like best hook, most likely to purchase. And when we run our pitch challenge, we've used so many different kind of models for judging. We've had people in central office and on our board judge. We've had former students that were participants in the pitch judge. We've had teachers in the building judge. 1 year, similar to Eric, I had a student at Bowling Green who was participating in their Shark Tank, and he came in and shared a lot of tips for us at a very high level. And then he judged also our students. So it's really nice to see that, you know, have a wide range of judges to see what it is that we're doing. So as Eric said, the pitch toolkit is completely free. It has the contest rules and has lesson plans and activities, like I said, that are easy to execute. This My Pitch Challenge is the one that allows you to have some prize money to distribute. So, you know, when you get this, you get not only a consultation, which I don't take advantage of too much anymore, but everyone at YEI is so helpful and has been so helpful over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's a really good benefit, especially for the new educators who maybe haven't participated yet in pitch. You know what works for you, and you know, don't need to take advantage of that component, but I think it is very helpful.
Oh, and it's wonderful. And I mean, it always amazes me how quickly everyone responds to my emails when I have questions.
We don't want to keep you waiting on us.
Are they just sitting around waiting for me to ask questions? Like, which it's really nice. It is really nice. So I appreciate that. And then these from VentureLab are also very specific, very detailed lesson plans that have just been really great. So I've kind of merged in the lesson plan that I have submitted. I've merged lesson plans, then twisted them to give them my own flair from both VentureLab and the pitch. So I know that my time is up, but I'm just going to share what kind of I have shared with you guys, so that will be posted whenever it gets posted. But, you know, like I said, we do this over about 2 months, once a week. And this is kind of the initial slideshow that we do: a brief introduction to entrepreneurs, We talk about ideation, and then we just go into these. We spend a lot of time in ideation, because middle school kids, even, you know, gifted kids that are creative are like, oh my gosh, I have to present this to my peers. I don't want mine to look stupid. So that is the majority of the bulk of our time is ideation activities. And then we do a lot of writing the scripts, then peer review, and then the filming. So that's, I mean, you know,
I love how you've combined, you know, a couple different resources here to make it your
Yeah.
own. And that you've been able to, you know, start with something 5 years ago, and now it's developed into a really flushed out. My guess is students are looking forward to, you know, what they're
They
going
enjoy
to do
it.
is
They
going
definitely enjoy it. And even, you know, the more we get into it, the more I'm like, oh, like we should do this from language arts. Like this year, we focused a lot on ethos, pathos, and logos, and we made the kids incorporate that in a way into part of their pitch. Choose one of them, and how are they going to use that to convince others to buy their product? So, yeah.
It's really great. And for those of you who are listening, that might not be quite as familiar, you can use these resources for My Pitch for just your classroom, for a school event, for the state of Ohio, or take it into a national competition also. So that kind of information is there. And we would be more than happy to, you know, point you in the right direction if you have students who want to take what they've created in their pitch and actually create a product with it and sell it at a market. So there's lots of different ways to go, lots of different resources. And I really appreciate you sharing all of this with us, Allison. So thank you. And last but not least is Ann Raybar, who is from Incarnate Word Academy here in Cleveland. Ann has used a plethora of different resources, like many of our ambassadors, and is going to be sharing her lesson plan. So Ann, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. It's so fun hearing what everyone's doing. And Kim, I just have to say, I was at Upcycle yesterday for their drop-in. I love Upcycle. Instead of sharing my screen, because I think that's on the spreadsheet, I just wanted to echo everything everyone's saying, especially when Robin said, if we don't have it, we'll make it, because that's how a lot of things came into play for me. So I'm not working, I work with students via my work with teachers. And I look at the standards that we're doing, and I look how to do integration and design thinking and STEM. And this to me is the perfect fit, because regardless of what the classrooms are doing, they should be showcasing what they're doing. And if that's in a pitch, that's the most perfect way to do it. So in developing PBLs and things like that, well, in doing that, I work with the teachers. So I went to Robin, I said, you know, Robin, I'm looking at this shaker racks. Can my classroom be my teachers? Because that's who I support directly. And we kind of went back and forth in a positive way. And so I took advantage of the Shaker Rocks YIPPEE product for professional development for my teachers, because it's all about the mindset. So entrepreneurship and STEM are hand in hand in that way. It all comes down to these mindsets. What are the strategies that engage minds? That's what STEM is, right? So strategies that engage minds. So Annie Rickman over there was fantastic. And she let, even if our teachers didn't want to climb in the gym, they were cheering each other on and doing collaborative things in that way. And we were looking at the idea of setting goals and taking risks and failing, and which in itself is the design cycle. So it was an amazing experience to start our year off with mindsets and integration and STEM thinking in an entrepreneurial lens. And from there, what I do is work with teachers. What are we doing? Building units, and where can we go on YIPPEE that aligns with that? So it's just fantastic. For PBLs, for example, the lesson plan that I have is I had the 8th graders do a problem to solve for the school. Like, what is a problem they see in the school to make the school more exceptional? What could they change? And then that led to electives, but that lesson plan, if you pull it up, you'll see all of the ELA is obviously a perfect fit. And I know a lot of ambassadors talked about that, but you'll see the math that I was able to get in there, and the technology, and even the social studies and science. It just digs in so deep across the board. And ultimately they shared it, which is the pitch. And in that lesson, I think I used like 5 YIPPEE resources. If I don't want to bore you and pull it up and go through them all, but that's how many. And out of that, piggybacking or going right back to YEI, they developed will create your own pitch with you. Like, it became this cycle of learning. That's the design cycle. Like, they're always improving and thinking, how can we take what teachers are doing and now have another project? Kind of like Kim said with Upcycle, that led to another idea. So I hope I didn't cram that in too tightly there, but just to kind of show you all the directions you could go. And I'll tell you what, my pre-K teachers have embraced YIPPEE in many ways. They reach down to the littles just as much as to the higher grades. I think that's important to point out.
Yeah, well, thank you, Anne. And Anne's product on YIPPEE, she does have a lesson plan specifically, like she mentioned, but she does have a different view, being a teacher who's, working with so many other teachers and have used so many other products, that I asked her just to kind of talk a second about that, so that you would, the other educators who are on could, start the wheels going with what kind of lesson plan do you want, in that it doesn't necessarily have to be a lesson plan that's only for educators. It can be a lesson plan across, silos, or a lesson plan for other educators, professional development, or ideas like that, because YIPPEE is flexible and is designed to meet your needs. So thank you all, ambassadors, for sharing all those great lesson plans. Hopefully we will be able to get permission from everyone who submits a lesson plan for it all to be shared, so that we can all learn from each other and learn what is working as well as what isn't working. But I wanted to just remind everyone that for coming to today's Power Hour, you will receive 250 points, so that if you are new to YIPPEE and you're registering today, you can walk out with 750 points, which is like $750 of grant money that you get automatically. There's no waiting to see if you have the grant was approved. There's no paperwork. It's just, if you sign up and you're an educator, you go shopping for the product that you like and you get it. There's no waiting to know if you got it or if you didn't. And what's great is you use your points, but our funders supply the reimbursement to all our fantastic providers. So it's a win-win-win. In addition, for the programming today, if you register for the Kent State University program and you complete it, and you're one of the first 40 people to do so, you are eligible for a $200 stipend that you can use for either the graduate credit or for any real reason that you want. There's no strings attached to that. So make sure that you do register. We will only know that you want to participate in this and create your lesson plans like Annette was talking about at the beginning of the hour if you register for that program. So go ahead and register for YIPPEE, as well as registering for the Kent State program, and we'll make sure you get all those links. What else am I forgetting? We are going to have a survey about more power hours and what we can do, what other ideas we can have, or what other ideas in the power hours that you're interested in. So please go ahead and fill out our survey so that we know what you want to hear about and how we can do better. It's constant feedback for us. And I just wanted to thank everyone again for joining us today, especially our ambassadors who took time to share their lesson plans, to write them out, to make sure that they have been approved and that they've passed the class already, as well as Annette and the folks over at the Kent State University and the folks over at Burton D. Morgan who are funding this fantastic opportunity. Want to remind you that we here at YEI work in this space all the time. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We love talking about entrepreneurship education and can really help you and guide you to what you need, what we think you could be looking at and maybe making your programs even better. We offer a lot of consulting services, so please don't be shy and please look for the emails that are coming up on our upcoming events and additional power hours. Speaking of power hours, next month's power hour, we're going to try something new, something different, and something entrepreneurial. We are going to be taking our power hours on the road next month. So if you'd like us to make a stop at your school or your camp or your teaching team, give us a holler, send us an email, drop it in the chat, let us know, and we will make sure that we bring the resources of YEI as well as the resources of YIPPEE to you for your own individual power hour time. And don't forget to complete the survey, and there's lots of different links over in the chat, but we will also make sure in the follow-up email that we will be sending all the links that we talked about today to you. So once again, thank you to all of our presenters. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing your expertise. I will stay on for any extra questions that we did not get to, but it is exactly 5 o'clock and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So thank you again. And we can, Kelly, I think we can stop recording and I will be happy to